Going to theater and hearing the songs you know and love in a completely different context is such a rewarding experience. It helps you develop admiration and newfound love for these songs because you can see the new way that the story is told through them. However, not many musicals pride themselves to be so-called jukebox musicals because musical theater community loves to come up with new stories and new music and lyrics. But there are some amazing shows that are jukebox musicals and that any pop music fan should see. In this video, I'm going to tell you about 5 which you can see either on Broadway or in the West End. So let's start with a show that you can see both in London and in New York. It is amazing, magnificent Moulin Rouge. This is one of those shows that when it premiered, it was so hard to get the ticket for it because everyone wanted to see it. The same happened in New York and in London. I remember I needed to wait for quite a few months before I actually managed to get a ticket. And tickets were quite pricey. But Moulin Rouge has been around for a few years now and quite a lot of people have already seen it, so now the tickets are a little bit cheaper and it's still the most amazing show that you can see. If you're familiar with Baz Luhrmann's movie of the same name, this follows the exact same narrative and also the aesthetic is very much similar. It takes you straight away into Moulin Rouge in Paris amongst bohemians and artists, and this is a love story that is just so engaging. And one of the most exciting things about this musical is its sets that completely transfers you into a different world as soon as you enter the theater. Another incredible thing about this musical is that the songs that are used from the pop world to tell this story are so incredibly weaved into the story arcs of the characters, and they just belong there. And it's so great when you hear Elton John, Katy Perry, Beyonce, Rolling Stones, Madonna, No Doubt, all these iconic performers, and you have this whole new story in front of you unfolding. Honestly, it was one of the most amazing jukebox musical theater experiences that I have ever witnessed. Moulin Rouge is a perfect musical for a date night or for like a special treat because it just feels a little bit extra. So this is an amazing night out, so definitely be ready to be taken away by this musical. The second musical that I want to talk about has been in the West End for 25 years and it has received amazing accolades and is one of the most beloved musicals that people come to London to see, especially if they're ABBA fans. I know that you know what I'm talking about, and that is Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia is a musical that uses ABBA songs to tell a story about Sophie, who is getting married and she is not sure who her father is. And then she invites 3 potential candidates who she saw in her mom's diary that are people who were involved with her mom during the time when she was conceived, and they all come to this wedding in Greece and an interesting story unfolds. You might be familiar with Mamma Mia because this has been also a blockbuster movie with Meryl Streep and many other amazing actors, but what many people don't know is that actually Mamma Mia movie originated as a musical theater piece. It was first a musical and then it became a movie. And for any ABBA fan or anyone who is a fan of Mamma Mia movie, this is one of those musicals that is such a classic that audiences for many years to come will be coming to London to see it. With this musical, you can only see it in London. It is not available in New York, but sometimes you can find tickets for as cheap as £20, so keep an eye out for those. If you decide to go, it's going to be one of the really fun nights that you can enjoy maybe with your mom. We got to my third recommendation, and this is one of the musicals that really has made a big impression on me when I went to see it. It is Tina, the Tina Turner musical, which tells a story about Tina Turner's life and how this rock icon became such an incredible star. And the interesting part about this is that actually Tina has seen this musical when she was alive, and this is Tina approved version of the story, which means that it is as authentic as it can be. They used Tina's music catalog over the years to create this amazing story to complement her own personal journey. It is so incredible hearing these songs, but now having this context of how they come about, or maybe what other things were happening in her life when certain songs were created, and maybe something that seemed as a success on the surface, you realize that there was a lot of hard work and a lot of pressure behind it, and sometimes unhappy moments. Speaking of unhappy moments in Tina's life, she had an abusive relationship, and there is also elements of drug abuse in the show and violence, so you should just be aware of of that, but I think these elements are very small in comparison to the overall amazing energy that this musical brings, and you will hear some amazing songs that you love by Tina, such as Proud Mary, Simply the Best. All the songs really elevate the energy in the room, and by the end everyone was standing and clapping, and this is one of the best jukebox musicals that I have seen. There's no musical that you can see that says I love pop music more than my fourth recommendation. Unfortunately, you can only see this musical right now on Broadway, but it actually originated in the West End and it was on for quite some time before it was transferred to Broadway, and now this is the only place where you can see it. It is And Juliet. The story of this musical offers an alternative ending to famous Romeo and Juliet story, wondering what would have happened if Juliet continued living her life like she wanted to. The only little difference to Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, apart from this ending, is that this story is filled with Max Martin's pop bangers. Max Martin is a Swedish producer who is pretty much acclaimed as the god of pop music. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Robin, Jessie J, all of these amazing pop artists have in one way or another worked with Max Martin. And all of the songs in this show are composed by this amazing Swedish songwriter. This musical is great because it just offers a new and fresh perspective on Romeo and Juliet, and it also throws in some amazing songs that will definitely make you want to dance and will ensure that you have a great time. And my fifth recommendation goes to MJ the Musical, which is a musical that you can see both in London and in New York. It is a musical that follows the story of Michael Jackson getting ready for his 1992 Dangerous World Tour. This musical brings amazing dancing, songs such as Smooth Criminal, Billie Jean. If you're a fan of his music, there's no way that you're not gonna enjoy this, especially because Miles Frost is a Tony Award-winning performer who is in the role of Michael Jackson in London. He originated this role on Broadway and then transferred with the show to West End, so London audiences can still see him in this role. The show has also won an award for the best choreography, so you're also in for a treat from that perspective. If you feel conflicted about Michael Jackson because of all the other allegations, the story is very focused on the preparation for the tour. It doesn't really tackle or addresses allegations, which some people might find an issue with, but if you are just going for the music and for the appreciation for Michael Jackson's artistic expression and work, then this is a show that you will enjoy. So these are the 5 shows that I would recommend to any pop lover to go and check out on Broadway or in the West End. But if you're not sold on these suggestions, then I think that this video might be for you, because this is where I'm talking about my favorite shows of the past 12 months.